What's up, YouTube? It's Zandar the Legend here today with a booster box opening and battle for Zendikar, sponsored by Games Unlimited, my local game store of choice. If you're ever in the Springfield, Missouri area, or in the Missouri area, it's worth visiting Springfield to check out the competitive scene at Games Unlimited. And I really do like playing there all the time. We have a great group of people. But more importantly, what you're curious about, will we pull Expedition Lands? Let's rub some good luck on there and get this booster box started. I'm pretty excited about this set. Always going to be skipping over the commons. We'll go over the uncommons, but we're only actually going to talk about the rares. Serene Steward, Coastal Discovery, Pathway Arrows, and our first rare is a Wasteland Strangler. It has Devoid, it's 2 uncolored and a black for a 3/2. When it enters the battlefield, you may put a card an opponent owns from exile into that player's graveyard. If you do, target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. Every pack's going to have a full art land card in it, and typically a token, unless we have really bad luck. You always know if you're going to have a foil in your pack based if you have 9 commons. If you're not going to have a foil, you're going to have 10 commons. Just an interesting fact. Return to Kazandu, Catacomb Sifter, Ulamog's Despoiler, and a Smoldering Marsh. It's our first of the lands. I'd be happy to get all the lands in this box just because these are always going to retain value. It can be either a swamp or a mountain. It enters battlefield tapped unless you already have 2 basic lands on the battlefield. Grove Rumbler, Rolling Thunder, Coastal Discovery, and a Blight Herder. This is a kind of a bulk rare from what I can tell. 5 uncolored for a 4/5 Eldrazi Processor. When you cast it, you may put 2 cards your opponents own from exile into their graveyards. If you do, you get 3 Eldrazi Scion tokens. So lots of mana, and we got the Kiora emblem, which looks pretty cool. Other rares I'd like to see from this box is the Endless One, Shambling Vents, Rising Miasma, Ulamog's Nullifier, Retreat to Hagra. First Mythic of the box is a Void Winnower. I'm not sure what I think about this card yet, and it was in the dual decks. 9 mana for 11/9. Your opponents can't cast spells with even converted mana costs. Your opponents can't block with creatures with even converted mana costs. I've had that played against me. It's a very frustrating card to play against. We're actually going to make a separate pile for Mythics so we can count those out real quick at the end of the video here today. And our first foil so far is a Reckless Cohort. Other rares. Let me think here. Shambling Vents seems to be pretty rare, and it's definitely going to need to be a 3 or 4 of in some decks. Endless One I'm just trying to collect. Trying to think of some other really good rares here. Fire Mantle Mage, Bane of Balaged, Tide Drifter, and Anissa's Renewal. This is 5 uncolored and a green sorcery. Search your library for up to 3 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library and you gain 7 life. Swamp and a token. As far as Mythics, we pretty much just want to see the Planeswalkers, possibly an Ulamog. Really, it's all about the Expedition lands. Zolport Cutthroat, Stasis Snare, Sylvian Scrying, and there we go. It's a Shambling Vent. That's one of the things we wanted to see out of this box. It enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap it and add white or black to your mana pool. Most importantly, for 3 mana, 1 uncolored, a white and a black, it becomes a 2/3 white-black elemental creature with lifelink until the end of the turn, and it's still a land. Very powerful. It's going to see play in lots of different decks, including Esper Control, probably an Abzan, and it's just going to allow, it stacks so good with Awakening if you want to really put all your money, all your bets on one card. But it's a lot of life gain late game. Foil in this pack, that's always a good sign. Angel of Renewal, Retreat to Kazandu, Spawning Bed. Our rare is a Beastcaller Savant. I'm actually kind of happy with this. 1 uncolored and a green for a 1/1 Elf Shaman ally. He has haste and can tap for any mana color, but you can only use it to cast a creature spell. That's kind of what green's good for anyways, so pretty excited about that. Our foil is a Deathless Behemoth uncommon. For a foil rare of the set, I would probably like it to be one of the lands. I think that's kind of the best foil rare you could hope for. Vile Aggregate, Breaker of Armies, Molten Nursery, and a Sunken Hollow. If you're going to get a land, that's the one you want. It's an island in a swamp. Everybody loves their islands. And yeah, it's a Tango land, Battle land, whatever land. I don't care. Leave me a comment down below what you like to call it. I'm going to call it a Zen. It's a Zen land. The Battle for Zendikar. Another foil. It looks like we got a foil land this turn. Drana's Emissary. This pack. Ruination Guide. Sylvian Scrying. Scattered to the Winds. This is going to be a 4-of in a lot of decks. 1 uncolored, double blue. Counter target spell. Also has Awaken 3. So we're going to get a 3/3 land elemental creature token that has haste if we cast it for 6 mana instead. Very good card. And a foiled forest, which goes right into that rare pile as well. And we got the exact same full art forest. That's hilarious. I don't think I've ever had that happen yet. Excuse me. Earth and Arms, definitely going to see play in my hard counter deck. Bloodbond Vampire. Core Entanglers. Pilgrim's Eye. Smothering Abomination. This is another going to be bulk rare. 2 uncolored, double black for 4/3 Eldrazi. It has Devoid and Flying. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature. Whenever you sacrifice a creature, draw a card. Great synergy with the Scion tokens if you have a deck that's kind of going for that sort of thing. I don't think we're going to see any decks like that in Standard, but I could be wrong, as Ramp can be very powerful if you can do it right. Rolling Thunder, Transgress the Mind, which is kind of the new Thoughtseize for a little bit, Molten Nursery, and a Ruinous Path. It was the Buy a Box promo, but most importantly, it is our Hero's Downfall of the set. 1 uncolored, double black for a sorcery, destroy target creature or planeswalker. It has Awaken 4, so we're paying 7 mana for it, but it actually happens quite a bit in the later control games where you're going to see that played a bunch. It can also be an Abzan. So very powerful in Esper control and Abzan control. Processor Assault. Hagra Sharpshooter. Infused with the Elements. And a Dust Stalker. Rare. It's a 2 uncolored, black and a red, 5/3 Eldrazi with Devoid and Haste. At the beginning of each end step, if you control no other colorless creatures, it gets returned to its owner's hand. Not sure how I feel about that card quite yet. I don't think it's going to see play. Probably just another bulk rare. A lot of bulk rares in this set, from what I can tell. Unified Front, Mercy Ranger, Cryptic Cruiser, and a From the Beyond. This is going to be for your ramp decks. 3 uncolored and a green enchantment. It's got Devoid. Basically, every turn you get a 1/1 Eldrazi Scion token. For an uncolored and a green, you can sacrifice it. Go search for any Eldrazi card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Yeah, and then shuffle your library. I didn't know if it was your hand or the top of the deck, but it's hand. So if you're going to play a ramp deck, probably 4 of those are going to be a must-of. Bloodbond Vampire, Core Entanglers, Ulamog's Reclaimer, and a Mundu Ambush Leader. I don't know how I feel about this guy. Boros colors. 2 uncolored, red-white for a 3/4 core ally with haste. His rally condition is whenever him or another ally under your control, look at the top 4 cards of your library. If you do, reveal any number of those ally cards from among them. Put those cards on top of your library in any order, and the rest on the bottom in any order. So he helps you cycle through your deck, but I just don't think he's going to see play. I hope he does, though, as I got some foils of him from the pre-release. So that'd be nice. A Quorum Stonewaker, Grip of Desolation, pretty good removal for late game. Carrier Thrall, one of the better uncommons, and a Quorum Hellkite. Some people are saying this is going to see play. I don't see it. For 6 mana, 4 uncolored, double red, you get a 4/4 Flying Dragon. So Thunderbreak's still a little more powerful than this guy. He's got Landfall, though, and if a land comes in, it does 1 damage to creature or player. If it's a mountain, it does 2 damage. And oh my goodness, that's a really good foil rare for the set, I feel like. Really good foil rare. Probably one of the best ones. Sunken Hollow. We've already been over it. So beautiful. In fact, it's going to get sleeved right now because everybody knows these foils like to curl a little bit. Very, very excited about the foil rare in this set box. Maybe rubbing it with that Expedition just did the trick. Rot Shambler. We still haven't seen a Mythic yet, have we? Carrier Thrall. Retreat to Coral Helm. Veteran War Leader. Here's another creature. I don't know if I feel too comfortable with him yet. 1 uncolored, green-white for star. Power and toughness equal to the number of creatures you control. Tap another untapped ally, and he gets first strike, vigilance, or trample until end of turn. He could see play. He's not terrible. He'd probably be pretty good in a Collected Company deck as well, being at the top of the mana curve for Coco. But I don't know how I feel about him yet. And green-white's one of my decks I really like to play. Drana's Emissary, Windrider Patrol, Retreat to Valkut, Angelic Captain, another Boros colors, 3 uncolored, red-white for a 4/3 angel ally of flying. When it attacks, gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each other attacking ally. I mean, if you're going to run an ally deck, you can get some serious damage through flying with that. But we do have a lot of removal in this set. Granted, it's not instant removal. Expedition Envoy, Tide Drifter, Retreat to Hagra, and there's our first mythic. Finally, Omnath, Locus of Rage. 7 mana, 3 uncolored, double red, double green for a 5/5 elemental creature. It's legendary. He has landfall. When it enters, a land enters the battlefield under control, put a 5/5 red and green elemental creature token onto the battlefield. When the Locus of Rage or another elemental you control dies, deal 3 damage to target creature or player. It's going to be great in EDH. It was great during the pre-release and limited, but I don't know if it's going to see play in Standard. Really, he can be removed instantly from a Tarka. I just think people can get rid of him too quick, depending how you're playing. Serene Steward, Ulamog's Reclaimer, Slabhammer, and there's my first Kiora. Man, 2 mythics in a row. Very excited. I have not pulled one of her yet. Kiora, Master of the Depths, 2 uncolored, green-blue for 4 loyalty Planeswalker. Her +1 is untap up to 1 target creature and up to 1 target land. Her -2 is reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You may put a creature card and or land card from among them into your hand, put the rest into your graveyard. Her -8, which is a great ultimate, I feel like. You get an emblem. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may have it fight target creature. Then put 3/8/8 blue octopus creature tokens onto the battlefield. We also got a foil Cloud Mantra. And you know what? I am going to sleeve her just because I've been having terrible luck with Kioras. Feeling pretty good about this box. About halfway through it. 2 mythics so far. Typically you see 3 mythics on the high, 5 to 6. Plated Crusher, Blighted Patriarch, Retreat to Emeria, and an Oran Reef Hydra, kind of a bulk rare, 4 uncolored, double green for 5/5 Hydra, trample and landfall. When landfall enters, you get +1/+1. If it's a forest, you get 2 +1/+1 counters instead. Island and a Eldrazi token. Will we get an Expedition land? Hagra Sharpshooter, Pathway Arrows, Blighted Gorge, Nolan Dar Royal Shaper. I thought this was going to be really good, but unfortunately he's just going to be a bulk rare. It looks like pretty much everything from Zendikar will be a bulk rare due to the Expedition openings. 3 uncolored, blue, white for 4/4. Every time an instant or sorcery spell's cast, you get 3 +1/+1 counters on target land you control. It also becomes a 0/0 elemental creature that's still a land. So, excuse me. Oh, I thought we pulled in freaking Expedition, but we didn't. Turn Against, Crumble to Dust, Adverse Conditions. A rare is a Woodland Wanderer, 3 uncolored and a green for a 2/2 Vigilance Trample Elemental. When it enters the battlefield, you get +1/+1 counter on it for each color mana spent to cast it. Right there is why I kind of thought if you'd catch that, but it is just an unnatural aggression foil. Sadly, it's kind of easy to tell if you get an Expedition or not because they're made a little differently with the foiling process, so they really slide around. So they almost reveal themselves immediately when you're trying to do this. Plated Crusher, Grove Rumbler, yeah, Blighted Gorge, Hero of Gamma Fata, 4 uncolored and a white for 4/3 Human Knight ally. When him or another ally enters the battlefield under control, creatures gain indestructible until end of turn. Ridiculous. All your creatures gain indestructible, not just a couple of them. If you're going to be playing allies, you're definitely going to be seeing a deck with him. Oh my gosh. This pack just slid around everywhere, and I already spoiled the rare. Unified Front, Brood Monitor, Blighted Step, and Ally Encampment. This is kind of rare. It seems like one of these in a box, maybe. It's a land, tap it for colorless, tap and add 1 mana of any color to spend this mana only on an ally spell. You can pay 1 and sacrifice the ally encampment, return ally you control to its owner's hand. And then we got Mersa Ranger Uncommon foil. Quite a few foils in this box compared to some of the other ones I've seen. First uncommon is Ondu Rising, Retreat to Coralhelm, Blighted Fin, and a Feldar Sovereign, which is a reprint that was kind of needed. 4 uncolored, double white for a 4/6 Vigilant Lifelink Cat Beast. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 40 or more life, you win the game. Don't see that happening in Standard. It could be possible, though, with the right mechanics on a Seeker of the Way, possibly. Scythe Leopard, which is going to be a key piece to the red-green aggro build for Landfall. Catacomb Sifter, Blighted Gorge, and Ugin's Insight, 3 uncolored, double blue for sorcery. Scry X, where X is the highest converted mana cost among all permanents you control, and then draw 3 cards. I think you'll see a 1 of, maybe a 2 of that. It's a pretty good card draw, and you're setting up kind of what you're getting. But yeah, that green-red Landfall deck has a turn 3 kill in a couple different ways, which is actually really crazy. Firemantle Mage, Rising Miasma, Deathless Behemoth, and a Lantern Scout. 2 uncolored and a white for a Human Scout ally. It's a 3/2. When it or another ally enters the battlefield under your control, creatures you control gain lifelink until end of turn. And a Gideon token. Man, if we pulled a Gideon in this box too, that'd be crazy. We are still due for at least 1 more Mythic, I believe. Hopefully 2 or 3 more. Rot Shambler, Forerunner of Slaughter, Royal Spout, and a Conduit of Ruin. 6 uncolored for a 5/5 Eldrazi. When you cast it, you may search your library for a colorless creature card with converted mana cost 7 or greater, reveal it, shuffle, and then shuffle your library and put that card on the top of it. The first creature spell you cast each turn costs 2 less, which is kind of nice about that one. 2 colorless less. So let's keep that in mind. Angel of Renewal, Brood Monitor, Core Blade Whirl, and an Emeria Shepherd, 5 uncolored, double white for a 4/4 Angel. Obviously she has flying. She has landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may return target non-land permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. If that land is a plains, you may return it to the permanent to the battlefield instead. I don't know if I really see a plan with her yet. There's a token for Omnath. I guess if they ingest some of your lands, it's possible to get them back. Resolute Blade Master. He seems pretty rare for an uncommon. Processor Assault, Dampening Pulse, Bring to Light, which has already seen play in 1 deck. I think it's Sand Black. I'm not sure. 3 uncolored, green and a blue for Converge. Search your library for a creature, instant, or sorcery card with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of colors of mana spent to cast Bring to Light. Exile that card, shuffle your library. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. And a Mountain and a Plain Jane worthless token. Down to our last 6 packs. Let's really see what we can make happen here. Skyrider Elf, Retreat to Emeria, Halmar Tidecaller, March from the Tomb. This is definitely a bulk rare. 3 uncolored, white-black for sorcery. Return any number of target ally creature cards with total converted mana cost of 8 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Allies should be a thing. It's just going to be interesting to see exactly how that deck gets made up. Void Attendant, Retreat to Valkut, Deathless Behemoth, and a Cinderglade. About time we get another land. This one's a Mountain Forest, and it's another Zen land, as I'm going to call it. Lithomancer's Focus Premium foil card, and hopefully we get at least 1 more Mythic in these last 4 packs. My goodness. My goodness, my goodness. Vampiric Rites, Horrible Array, or I'm not sure how you say that. Jedi Offshoot, and Brutal Explosions are rare. 2 uncolored, blue-red. For devoid, choose one or both. Return target spell or creature to its owner's hand. It deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If that permanent would be put to the graveyard, exile it instead. And we got a Plains and Plant. Guys, it's that time in the video. If you haven't subscribed, liked, or left a comment yet, please do so. I definitely get back to all comments. Subscribing and likes really help us keep new boxes coming, all the Fat Pack reviews and openings, and the Deck Tech reviews. So I definitely appreciate each and every one of you. So please do that. It takes just 1 second of your time. Chaju Warcaller, and I'll let you know when the newest content comes out. Pilgrim's Eye, Royal Spout. There's our next Mythic. It's a Quarantine Field. Man, I'm glad I earned that $2. I actually think this could see play. It's the XX white for the enchantment. It enters the battlefield with X isolation counters on it. When Quarantine Field enters the battlefield, for each isolation counter on it, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent an opponent controls until the Quarantine Field leaves the battlefield. Now, if you play this for 4, it's okay. I mean, I'm not going to say it's that good. When you play it for 6 or 8, though, that's when the card starts to become really, really good. Excuse me. Still fighting a cold, but I want to bring this content to you guys as quick as possible. Will we get one more Mythic or an Expedition land? That's the question. A Quorum Stonewaker, Core Blade Whirl, Ruination Guide, and a Canopy Vista. There we go. It's another one of our Zen lands. Battle, Tango, whatever. Leave me a comment down below with all your comments and love. Last pack. If you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, make sure you do it. It's right. It's like right there. It's right. Tickle the octopus. Tickle him. And it's right down there. Last pack. Can we get an Expedition? It's not looking like it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That means no foils. So will it be a Mythic or not? Skyrider Elf, Blighted Woodland, Titan's Presence, and a Lumbering Falls. It's a man land. Enters the battlefield tapped. It's green or blue, which is like this entire box is a green-blue box, it feels like. For 2 uncolored and a green and a blue, it becomes a 3/3 green and blue elemental creature with hexproof until end of turn. It's also still a land. Now, guys, I know you're going to be extremely disappointed, but I completely forgot to keep working on my Mythic stack. So let's go back and just see on the final roundup here how many Mythics were in this box. It looks like 4. We had 4 Mythics, a foil land, a foil Sunken Hollow, and it looked like just a bunch of lands. That's it for today's video. Make sure you stay tuned. We're going to have more booster box opening, Fat Packs every Friday for the next month, and yeah, the event deck as well. Thanks for watching, and have a great weekend. Hey, and good luck. If you're trying to pull expeditions, I'm wishing you luck right now. May the odds be ever in your favor.